Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Martinez with Martinez Art Lab. Today we are working in Google Drawings. We're working with one of the color theory handouts that I've created, and we're going to use Google Drawings to add some color to it. So these color theory handouts you can use for anything related to color theory. It's really good practice and really good skill building for working digitally in Google Drawing. You can also print these out and use these as handouts as well with colored pencils or paint or whatever you are using it for. So today in Google Drawing, I've got this example open. We're going to use our selection tool. So it's this black arrow. And when I click on shapes, it will select it, and you'll be able to tell because it's highlighted in blue and you see the anchor boxes around it. So any shape that I click on is going to be selected. If I accidentally move one of these shapes, because we don't want to move any of these shapes, so if I accidentally do something like that, I can go up to my undo arrow, click it, and it will take the shape back where it originally was. And I'll just click undo until the shape looks like it should. Okay, so if you make a few mistakes, then you'll click the undo a few times. So now I'm going to get started, and I'm going to start adding color to the smallest shape first to show you how to do this. When I have nothing selected, my fill color will not show up. So I have to have something selected in order to see the fill color tool. So it's this paint bucket tool. When I click on that, I'm going to see all of my colors. And I'm just going to start from dark to light, and I'll start with black today. So when I start with black, and I'll click on my second shape, and I will click my fill color and add a dark gray, then click on my next shape and click a lighter gray. And then I'll keep going until I have lighter grays that have filled up my circle. So, or my oval, I guess. So that is one way to add color. I can use this to show different color theories. So right now I went from the darkest to the lightest. So we all know that as I was adding a lighter color each way, I'm showing a tint, and I will type it to the side just so you can see this. A tint is a color when you add white. So I will make that nice and big so that you can see that. And then I will add a plus white. So if I were mixing in a paint palette, this is what I would get when I add a little bit of white to black, a little bit more white, a little bit more white, and a little bit more white. So there's our example of a tint. My next one that I will be showing is a shade. So I will type that in here. And a shade is when you are adding black. So if I start with a light color and add a little bit of black and a little bit of black, this is what I will get. So let me make that nice and large for you to see that, and put it nice and close so you know. So I'll start with my smallest shape, and I will start with how about a light purple, okay? And then I'll click my next larger shape, and I will click on a darker purple. So it's getting a little bit darker each color that I add. And that would be happening if I was adding a little tiny bit of black. And I stress that a little tiny bit because a little bit of black goes a very long way. So if we are mixing this with paint in front of us on our papers, a little tiny bit of black goes a long way. And there you have it. So we've got a tint and a shade. Now I'm going to do my next colors, and I want you to see what color theory rule I'm using right now, and we'll see who can get it. I'm going to use red, and then yellow, and then blue. And we'll fill it up with red and then yellow. I don't have room to add a third blue, but I'll give you a second to think what colors these are, and I will type them in while you're thinking. But first I will make sure it's the same size. These are the primary colors. So the primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, right here. I will put them to the side. And then we'll do our next set, and I will let you guess and see what our next set is while I'm making it. So I'm going to choose purple and green and purple, green, and orange. Okay, so while I'm adding these last two, go ahead and say it if you know it. Purple, green, and orange. And we are looking at, I'm going to copy that and then bring it down here and change it. We are looking at the secondary colors. So purple, orange, and green. Those are the colors that are mixed using the primary colors. Okay, another color scheme that we can look at that is actually already an example up here. Both of these are examples, but I'll make a third example of it, and I will just use the color blue. Let's go ahead and choose that. So I'm going from dark to light. It doesn't need to be in any order actually, so I can just pick all different shades. I think I just picked the same shade. I can just pick all different shades of blue, and when I do that, if I'm using all different shades, all different values of blue, what I have just created is a monochromatic color scheme. And a monochromatic color scheme is using all the same color, but different values of that color. So a monochromatic scheme, if I choose blue and I'm using different tints and shades of blue, then that's monochromatic. If I choose purple and I'm using different values of purple, so I'm using light purples and dark purples and medium purples, those are different values. And I have different values by adding black or white to create a tint or a shade. That's monochromatic. So a monochromatic color scheme uses different values of one color. Now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do our last one just in rainbow order. So I'm just going to come down and go red, orange, and this is the order of our color wheel as well. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and then I'm going to be missing my last color here, which would be purple. So I'm missing my last color, but that is okay. We will make it through. All right, so that is just a rainbow order. And I'll put, we're missing purple. All right, so here's just a couple very quick examples of a few different color schemes and a couple rules that we're going to find in color theory as we are working with it. And it was also just a quick skill builder on using the fill color in Google Drawings.